മാർക്കുണ്ടായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ ഇങ്ങനെ വന്ന് നിൽക്കില്ലല്ലോ അച്ചോ. സോറി ഫാദർ.
ബുദ്ധിയാണ് അച്ചോ ഇതിന്റെ മെയിൻ സംഭവം. ബുദ്ധിയാണ് എന്റെ മെയിൻ സംഭവം സാറേ.
ഭയങ്കര വിനയാണല്ലോ. ഒരു കുടിക്ക് പറയാം.
എടാ ബിജുക്കുട്ട, നിന്റെ ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സിന്റെ വെരിഫിക്കേഷൻ കഴിഞ്ഞാ? ഒന്നും പറയണ്ട ബ്രോ, അത് കൊറേ നീളും. ഒരു ഡോക്യുമെന്റ് വെരിഫൈ ആകുമ്പോ അടുത്തതിന്റെ പ്രൂഫ് വേണമെന്ന് പറയും. അത് കൊടുക്കുമ്പോ പഴയതിന്റെ പോരാന്ന് പറയും. അങ്ങനെ ഡോക്യുമെന്ററി എടുത്ത് തന്നെ എന്റെ ജീവിതം തീരും. സീനാകെ കാഫ്കേസാണ്. കാഫ്കേസ്കാ? അതെന്ത് തേങ്ങയാ? What is Kafkaesque? Hello my dear students, this is Vishwas and in this video we will be looking at Franz Kafka. So what is Kafkaesque? Every once in a while a great author comes who lends his or her name to an experience they have mastered in their work. They lead by hand countless readers through this vivid experience, so gripping that the experience becomes an eponym. That is, it gets named after the author. Thus, we have the Orwellian surveillance program, the Pinteresque menace, and the Kafkaesque. Though these eponyms are too reductive in communicating the effect created by the author, the fact that they exist only serves as a tip of the hat to the craft of these brilliant authors. In this sense, Kafkaesque, named after Franz Kafka, refers to a senseless, helpless, disoriented, nightmarish experience, often associated with bureaucratic, authoritarian systems. Who was Franz Kafka? Franz Kafka was a master in the modernist tradition of authors. This German-speaking Bohemian novelist and short story writer was born in the year 1883 in a middle-class Ashkenazi Jewish family in Prague, the capital of the Kingdom of Bohemia. Kingdom of Bohemia? Yes. This was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which ended after the First World War. Prague is today the capital of the Czech Republic. The word Bohemian can also mean a socially unconventional person, especially one who is involved in the arts. Bohemian was a common term used to refer to the Romani people of France. We know them commonly as the gypsies. So they were mistakenly thought to have reached France in the 15th century via Bohemia. So that's how the word Bohemian came to be applied to people who did not lead a traditional, conventional lifestyle. Coming back to Kafka, Kafka was a Jew in a German territory. So much for peace of mind. Kafka had a strained relationship with his father, Hermann Kafka, a huge, selfish, overbearing businessman with whom he rarely spoke. This turbulent relationship had a significant influence on Kafka's writings. His mother, Julie, was a quiet lady. Kafka got engaged to several women but never married, and finally he died in 1924, succumbing to tuberculosis. His 3 sisters died during the Holocaust of World War II. Franz Kafka was a trained lawyer and he worked for an insurance company. This gave him first-hand experience of how humans are ground down by the bureaucratic mechanism.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning. ഞാൻ ഒരു ജോലിക്ക് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തിരുന്നേ. അച്ഛൻ ജോലിയിൽ നിന്ന് മരിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് പകരം എനിക്ക് കിട്ടേണ്ട ജോലിയാ. 1982 ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടായ തീപിടുത്തത്തിൽപ്പെട്ട എന്റെ അച്ഛൻ മരിച്ചത്.
താന്റെ അവിടെ ചെന്ന് പറ.
അവിടെയാ? ഓ, ബാലകൃഷ്ണൻ?
ഞാനല്ല, ഞാൻ രാമകൃഷ്ണ.
അയ്യോ, ഞാനാ ബാലകൃഷ്ണൻ. ഞാൻ ഒരു ജോലിക്ക് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തിരുന്നേ. അച്ഛൻ ജോലി ചെയ്ത് മരിച്ചത്.
അതൊന്നും ഇവിടെ അല്ല, ദാ അവിടെ ചെന്ന് പറ. എന്താ?
ഞാൻ ഒരു ജോലിക്ക് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തിരുന്നേ. അച്ഛൻ ജോലി ചെയ്ത് മരിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് പകരം എനിക്ക് കിട്ടേണ്ട ജോലിയാ.
അതൊന്നും ഇവിടെ അല്ല, അവിടെ പറ.
അയ്യോ, ആദ്യം അവിടെ പറഞ്ഞേ, അപ്പൊ ഇവിടെ പറയാൻ പറഞ്ഞു.
ഞാനിവിടെ പുതിയ ആളാ, അവിടെ ചെന്ന് പറ.
അതെ, എനിക്കറിയാൻ പാടില്ല ചോദിക്കുക. നിങ്ങളൊക്കെ ആളെ കളിയാക്കാതിരിക്കുക. താൻ ഇതുവരെ പോയി.
The reader can feel the author's experiences with life's realities through his characters. Even after his death, this poor guy was betrayed. But sometimes betrayal is a good thing. We read about Kafka today due to a betrayal by his friend Max Brod. Kafka was unrecognized during his lifetime and had asked his friend to destroy the incomplete and unpublished works after his death. Luckily for us, Brod proved to be bad at keeping promises, as he completed several of his incomplete works and published them from 1925 to 1935. Kafka wrote several letters, some to his friends and relatives and some to his lovers. In 1919, he gave a letter to his mother asking her to hand it over to his father. Being great at people skills, he was sure that this would bridge the gap between his father and him. Maternal curiosity got the better of her, or maybe she knew her son too well, and she read the letter, which had harsh words criticizing her husband, Hermann Kafka, for being authoritarian, emotionally abusive, and having a hypocritical character.
അച്ഛനാണത്രേ അച്ഛൻ.
Juliet did not deliver the letter, and it was published years later as Letter to His Father. Containing over 100 pages, this can probably be used by relationship experts to teach what not to write when you want to write a letter to mend a relationship. Joke alert. Now, Kafka's novella, Die Verwandlung, The Metamorphosis, was first printed in 1915 in a German magazine. If you had paid any attention during the biology classes, you would guess that metamorphosis means a transformation. Transformation into what? A superhero? No, not for Kafka. The Metamorphosis tells the story of a salesman, Gregor Samsa, who wakes one morning to find himself transformed into a huge insect. Angerus Angziver, monstrous vermin, is the literal translation of the German term which Kafka used. One morning, when Gregor Samsa woke from troubled dreams, he found himself transformed in his bed into a horrible vermin. He lay on his armor-like back, and if he lifted his head a little, he could see his brown belly, slightly domed and divided by arches into stiff sections. What's happened to me? He thought. It wasn't a dream. How about if I sleep a little bit longer and forget all this nonsense? He thought. But that was something he was unable to do because he was used to sleeping on his right. And in his present state, couldn't get into that position. Then he thinks, oh God, he thought, what a strenuous career it is that I have chosen. I wonder how many of us would think of our current job when we find ourselves transformed into an insect. In any case, do check this novella. Drop in Kafka and Metamorphosis in your conversations and you will sound intelligent. Do note that there is another work with a similar title, Metamorphosis, which is a narrative poem by a Roman author, Ovid, written around 8 CE. So, what are his other notable works? The novels, The Trial, and The Castle. In The Trial, the protagonist is Joseph K, and in The Castle, it's just K. In both the works, the characters come across mysterious bureaucratic systems which continuously evades the protagonist. The short story, The Judgment, or it's also translated as The Verdict, it examines the father-son conflict. Then, Meditation or Contemplation is a collection of 18 short stories. Then we have A Hunger Artist, a collection of 4 short stories. Then we have Letters to Phyllis, a collection of Franz Kafka's letters to Phyllis Bohr from 1912 to 1917.
ഞാൻ മേരി സ്നേഹിക്കുന്നത് സീരിയസ് ആയിട്ടാണ്. അല്ലേ വേണ്ട. ഞാൻ മേരിയെ ആദ്യമായി കാണുന്നത് പള്ളിയിൽ വെച്ചാണ്. ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായി മേരിയെ കാണുന്നത് പള്ളിയിൽ വെച്ചാണ്. അന്ന് ബൈബിൾ വായിച്ചപ്പോൾ മേരി ഇട്ട ചുരിദാർ കാണാൻ എന്ത് ഭംഗിയാണെന്നറിയാമോ? അല്ല, ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത് ചുവപ്പ് പോലെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന ഓറഞ്ച് ഇവൾക്ക് വല്ല നീല ചുരിദാറിട്ട് വന്നാൽ പറയാം. ഓഗസ്റ്റ് 2000 68
What makes Kafka's work special? Kafka's work has a universal appeal because he keeps the characters and the setting at a general level. How? The places and characters are rarely named. Kafka keeps the description of the characters' history to a minimum. We don't know about their past or where they come from. Hence, they could be anybody. The settings are often claustrophobic and menacing. The readers get the feel that something serious is happening or about to happen, but can't really put their finger on the issue at hand. Kafka's fiction fuses with his own life experiences. The isolation he felt in his life is shared by his protagonists. They face surreal situations and often engage with incomprehensible bureaucratic systems. These protagonists experience alienation from society and doubt their very purpose of existence and hence suffer from existential anxiety. They feel guilt but are unable to trace the reason for it. The reader will hence empathize with these protagonists who have to undergo extreme mental suffering with an unrelieved sense of doubt. Their world reacts to them in bizarre ways, and as such, they find their existence meaningless in an absurd world. Kafka wrote about the human condition. His protagonists are ordinary people who face ordinary situations which unravel into a never-ending nightmare. Kafka thus fuses realism with fantasy. His protagonists search for a logical resolution in an illogical situation. They feel guilty for an unknown crime and gets punished by some unknown agency. When such things happen to you, you can say that the scene is Kafkaesque.